Spirit. It's everywhere. Are we able to communicate with them? What can they teach us? Welcome to School Through Spirit. Host DeEtte Renee is a certified psychic medium and master teacher of psychic and mediumship development through LWISSD. DeEtte was born knowing spirit and now is here to help you better understand the spirit world. Now, your host of School Through Spirit, DeEtte Renee.
Hey, welcome everybody. This is DeEtte Renee here for School Through Spirit. I am your host here on WLTK-DB Digital Radio. Now, this is a show to explore different people's lives, their journeys, and how spirit has impacted it. Now, I do talk to people of different spiritual modalities and others that have just found that spirit has impacted their life. Now, each week I do start the day with a small discussion that spirit gives me, and then I move on to my guest. And my guest today is Miss Amie Burnis. Oh my God, you're gonna love Amie. She's a more recent author. She is co-creating an event up in the Northwoods, a spiritual wellness event, which we're gonna have her talk a lot about today, and kind of go from there. What do you think? So today, guys, you're gonna see me fiddling with my hair all day. Why? Because I keep looking at it going, I don't like it. I don't like it. It's just a female thing. Just so ignore me. And maybe there's a lot of other people out there feeling the same way about their hair today. So it's gonna go up, it's gonna go down, it's gonna do whatever. So at least there's not a snake with me. I'm in the comforts of my home. There's no snakes. I know my producer's laughing at me. But I also have to apologize for last week because I'll tell you what, that snake showed up and moosh brain happened. Everything was out the door. And if you couldn't tell, oh my God, mush brain, I couldn't have told you if Natalie was a brunette or a blonde at that point. So I do apologize for that. Trust me, it was gone. But today, no snakes. We're in the comforts of my home back in Wisconsin. We're doing phenomenal. And going from there. Now, next week, I also want to let you know is February 7th. I think I told my producer this. I'm not sure if I told my producer this. I'm going to tell you guys first. I will not be here. Okay. We're going to have to do a revamp of another show. Maybe this one. Let's see how awesome the show is. And maybe we'll play this one again. I don't know. But there won't be another one next week. Why? Because it's my daughter's birthday. I'm sending her for a spa day. And that means I'm going to have grandbabies. Okay. I'm going to have grandbabies. And to do a show with grandbabies would be quite interesting. So, to say the least, there wouldn't be much of a show other than them going, hey, how you doing? So you know what? Next week I just voluntarily said, you know what? Let's do a vacation day. So I will see you in 2 weeks. I want to tell you who's on in 2 weeks because I'm bringing in. Oh my God, guys! I'm going to tell you right now. Gear your questions up because Missy Hart is in 2 weeks. Missy Hart, and it's going to be that's February 14th. I should probably send that stuff to my Todd, the producer, also because he doesn't know. Clearly, I have not sent anything February to him. So, but we are doing readings on Valentine's Day, keeping it to relationships, to love. You know what? And I'm going to just broaden that because you know what? Love is just not, as we know in today's day, love is just not one certain thing. It could be love of a child, love of a relationship, a marriage, your dog. I love my house. So you know what? We really are going to open this up a little bit, but let's try to keep it as close to that ideal love thing as we possibly can. But it is. We are doing me and Missy Hart in 2 weeks. So think about your questions and spread the news. Spread it, spread it, spread it. And I'm going to tell you, when we put the banner up and it starts hitting, share that banner because I want to blow it up. I want to make it so busy, so fast. My producer cannot keep up. He needs 2 or 3 people in that office to figure it out. Okay. So let's see how blown up we can get and how many questions me and Missy can bring forth. Okay. And I think that'd be an awesome thing. So, you know what? Let's kind of continue on. Honestly, it was so funny because my producer said, what are you going to talk about today? And I'm like, I have no clue. I have no clue. And really, I don't, but I keep hearing the journey in my head. The journey. Talk about the journey. And I'm not sure if they're talking about my journey or your journey or what journey, but you know what? It's talking about the journey today. So I'm just going to listen to spirit and kind of go from there. How's that sound? Okay. I do think they are talking about, you know what, because they like to use my life for me to talk about, because, you know, what better do I understand than my own life? You know, what better do I have to understand? But one major thing that has been happening lately, well, it's no secret. I have, you know, I'm a teacher, so I teach a lot, and I have a class going through right now. I have two classes, matter of fact. I have my advanced one and I have my intermediates going through. But I'm going to talk more about the advanced class and what their lessons this week, because I'm finding that my life when I'm teaching, you know, will go through transitions. It will go through things also, just like my students are going through. And this week, and it kind of corresponds to last week a little bit also, okay? This week, they are, over the next 2 weeks, they're doing a lot with connecting to their own soul. Connecting to their own soul. That's pretty heavy, isn't it? That's freaking huge. Connecting to your soul, okay? You hear so many people, you know, we talk about walking with spirit, living a spirit filled life, all those amazing things. And trust me, I do. I listen to spirit all the time, you know, so much so that sometimes you could probably go, I'm a little flighty. And it's not that I'm being flighty, it's because literally I'm paying attention to you and I'm listening here too. And sometimes they're giving me stuff and it doesn't quite come out the mouth like it's supposed to in a regular conversation. Um, so I tend to look a little flighty once in a while. Um, but you know what? We're talking about connecting to the soul this week, and that's pretty. It is. It's huge. It's big. It's astronomical, and it can be done by anybody. It can be done with by anybody. So many people will come to me, or they say, and they literally say, "You know what? What's my life path? What am I supposed to be doing?" And I just look at them and go, "Well, you know what? It's not for me. It's not really for me to look there. Can I look there? I can. Do I look there? I usually don't. You know, will I see glimpses? Yes, because what it is, you know, when it comes down to it, as a soul coming into this body, coming into this world, you have choices. You do have destiny. You have destiny. You have things that are going to happen in your lifetime no matter what. They are going to happen. Okay. You will marry so and so. You will, you know, lose a parent at this time. You will die at this time. Maybe it's set up that you will go to college for this, but switch careers later for this. You know, I don't know, because everybody's soul path is your life contract is different. But there is predestined things that are going to happen. The best way to really explain a better map type thing for you to grasp, to kind of to get an idea of it, is if um, you look at, you're going to take, you know, you're going to take a trip, and I'm going to use the world as a trip because I have an international viewers here. So let's use the world as a thing that you're going to take a trip around the world, okay? And say, you know what? Say you start in the United States, and you know what? You're gonna, you know, everything goes to JFK here before it flips over half the time. Well, can't say everything, but a lot of things do. So wherever you start in the country, you're going to start out there. I would start out in Chicago, and I would go from here to JFK. Okay. I do have some flights that go straight over, but let's just say I'm going to stop at JFK. That's my first leg of the flight. So I know when I book my trip, I'm going to start JFK, or I'm going to start Chicago, and I'm going to definitely go to JFK. Well, my next stop is going to be Ireland. Okay. So I know I'm going to get to Dublin. That's my next step. Okay. I'm going to spend some time in Dublin. And from there, on a special date and time, because obviously I have got to book a flight to get off that pond per se, or get over the pond, whichever you want to call it. Um, you know, and say I'm going to get landed over, let's say Greece. Let's just say Greece. So that's going to be my first stop once I get over there. Now after that, I'm going to take by road or bus, you know, but not air. So now I am going to put out, you know what? I want to see India. I want to see China. I want to see Romania. I want to see different locations everywhere. Okay. Um, but what is happening is um, I have set places that I'm going to go to, but, but not an exact time frame. So I've put those set, those sets that I'm going to go and do. Okay. So these are set destinations. How I get from this place to that place is a whole nother ball game. And that is my free choice. Okay. So if I'm in Greece and I want to go to India, I know I'm in Greece on this day and I need to be in India on, say, in 2 weeks from this day. But I might decide to go from Greece up to Turkey and then down to India versus just going from Greece straight to India. Does that make sense? It's just that no matter what's going to happen is I'm going to end up in India on this date, no matter what. What happens in between is my free choice. And that's where you have a lot. Now, your soul has that predestined soul contract that it's worked out to come here, that it wants to explore different things, and it's set up certain things that are going to happen no matter what. I call them pillars, certain pillars of events that are going to happen in your life to cause things to happen for your life experience. In between is the free choice. And that's where I tell people connect with your soul, connect with your soul, connect, with the other side, connect to spirit and say, you know what does my soul want? Because so many times we just ignore that, don't we? We don't listen in here. We listen here. We don't listen here. Okay. We rarely listen here. So I literally have my students do this exercise, and I'll tell you what, this is an exercise I made up. This is exercise I got from my mentor, Lisa. And when I had to do this exercise, I hated it. Oh my God, the thought of doing this exercise just made me cringe. It did. It made me cringe. And the reason for that was because literally, I had to sit quiet for like 8 hours. Quiet. Like no TV, no social media, no friends, no telephone, no nothing. Just had to sit this quiet and not even going into meditation. Just good morning, Michael. Just sitting quiet. Okay. And during that period of time, your mind really starts to run. It really starts to run because you got a million thoughts on your head and you're just going, okay, oh, why am I sitting here doing this? I've got dishes to do. I got laundry to do. I could be mopping the floors. Just a million things could go off in your head and does. But what you're doing is when you're sitting there, you're getting quiet and you're kind of getting into a deeper, not a meditative state, but it is kind of meditative because you're relaxing. You're just sitting there and you're trying to focus on your soul. And when it comes up with, I need to do the dishes, you literally go, should I do the dishes? You're asking your soul, should I do the dishes? And if it says, no, you're not going to get up and do the dishes. You're just going to sit there. Okay. Now, you're going to continue to have thoughts go through your mind. And as those thoughts go through, you literally stop and go, should I do this? And if it says no, you don't. Okay. Now, yes, you can end up sitting there for 8 hours and just this quiet contemplation, speaking with your soul. Or you might, go here, take a walk. And then you go, did you just say take a walk? You might hear yes. Then you get up and you go take a walk. Or maybe it's telling you to take a bath. Or maybe it's telling you, you know what I mean, to book tickets to Greece. Whatever it might be, you're just listening to the soul. And one of the reasons for that is because literally the best communication you can have is with your soul to know where to go and what to do. It's going to help you to get the most growth. And the most growth for yourself, the most growth out of this life, the most experience out of this life. I will also tell you on every other aspect. When you're doing this, a magical thing happens because you start to become into a present state of being. Okay, God, my phone is just going off, guys. I apologize. I'm gonna flip that baby over. Um, so what is happening is you're getting into a present state of being. Okay, very much present state. Now, when I talk about a present state, a lot of people go, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Being in a present state really is being in that moment in time. You're not going to be a second or two ahead of yourself thinking, things that you have to do for the day. You're not going to be in a few moments behind you going, yeah, things I should have done or things that have happened. You're literally in that moment of time. And for most of us, that's extremely hard to do, to get in that moment, that present state. But doing the exercise of talking to your soul really helps you get to that present state. Because when you're talking to your soul, you have to be there. When you're a psychic or a medium, you also have to live in that present state, at least while you're doing the readings. And I'm sure any psychic or medium will tell you, boy, I'll tell you what, when you get in that present state, boom, the information is boom, boom, boom. It's lovely, it's amazing because you're not looking into a trajectory of the future. You're not looking into a trajectory in the past. You're just looking right now. But getting back to the soul, and in conjunction with when people ask me about if I can ask their life path, find their life path, I always tell them no, but I tell them that they can find it on their own because they can start speaking to their soul and start to see it. Things they will see. You know what? When you're talking to your soul, yeah, it might sound like you're making a story up in your head or whatever, but you can really kind of concur that back with events that have happened to your life. What has been the theme of your life? Because there's going to be a theme. Now we're not looking at your purpose here, guys. I'm not looking at your life's purpose, okay? Because I'll tell you what, that changes every single day, every single moment. Life purpose changes, okay? But your path, your soul contract does not, okay? So for yourself, if you go in and see this, if you go in and talk to your own soul and kind of find out what's that next step, what's going on, you are going to see that for yourself. Now your soul is going to tell you, "Oh my God, you got a lot of choices. You got a lot of places you could go, a lot of things you could do." And that's exactly what I'm going to see if you ask me. Just so you know, because when I tell people about the future, what's coming up, I see paths. I just see paths, okay? I see, you know what? Hey, here you go. I see you going down this road. I feel like you're at a fork of the road. If you decide, let's use a relationship. If you decide to stay with this person, oh my God, I'm seeing that, you know what, this is going to be a glorious place. This is, you're having a hard time right now, but what I'm feeling is if you go down this path, stay with them. It does feel like it's going to be a happy-go-lucky, eventually great place to be. I see that if you decide to stay, to split with them, I'm seeing a lot of rockiness. I'm seeing a lot of working on yourself. I'm seeing a lot of inner soul work. And you know what? The path just keeps going on. But as a psychic or a medium, it's not my place to look at you and tell you which way to go. That's your choice. So I always tell people you still need to go in here. You still need to go in here. Amen. Same here. I love that, Michael. I see path and the soul's potentials. I can predict the future or the lottery. I love that, Michael, because Michael is probably one of the most honest psychic mediums I know. And oh yeah, there you go. You got it from one of the horse's mouths. But that's exactly it. There's nothing else we can do. So I always tell people, if you want to know, if you really want to know what your soul wants, what your soul's trajectory is, go in and ask yourself. Okay. This is the age of awakening. And it's the age of awakening for a reason. It's not because all of a sudden some, Harry Potter, fictional character, and I like to say they're real, not fictional, but There's not some magical Harry Potter powers out there waving a wand saying, "Oh my God, everybody wake up," because that's not what's going on here. Okay, that's not what's going on. It literally has been happening because, yeah, we got astrological happening, we got energies happening. We have, is this predestined? Yes, it is. But at the same time, you have a lot of people hearing messages that a lot of us have been preaching forever. And you know what? It's starting to become very believable. It's starting to go, wait a second, they've got something going on. So I'm telling you, take it one step farther and realize I'm not trying to talk myself out of a job because we all know this is what I do full time. But what I am saying is you can go in yourself and ask your soul. You can go in on yourself and ask your soul. Now, if you're having trouble with the whole sit in silence, thing, start a little smaller. Start a little smaller. Find on YouTube a guided meditation about meeting your master guide. If you can't find one on YouTube, you can always go to my website, and that's www.deetterenee.com. There's going to be a little part there that says get your free meditation. Literally put your email in there, you hit submit, you're going to get a meditation that I do. And it's about going in and finding, speaking to your master guide. And when you're in there and you're talking to them, whether it be male or female or the dog, I don't know, it's whatever your master guide is. Um, Ask them, what's my soul path? What's my contract? If you're lost and you're really needing direction, it's a beautiful place to start. It's a beautiful place to go. Is to start right there and work your way forward. Okay. I know that seems like it's like, oh my God, like it's too simple to be true, but it really is that simple. It is that simple. And as I was saying, the more that you do this type of work, for yourself. And I'm not gearing everybody up to be readers, because that's my soul path. That's my journey. May not be your journey. But what it's going to do is it's going to help you to become much more present. Okay, it's going to help. A, it's going to help you to become much more present. B, it's going to help you to understand that you have a body and you have a soul, and you can go directly to the soul, your personal soul, to find out which way to go. See glimpses into your future. It's also going to help you to start to connect with your guides, spirit, what I always preach about. But it's going to help you to start to speak with them. Now, it's really cool when that happens because you know what? Good morning, Denise. Good morning, Denise. Oh, I'm sorry you're feeling lost, hon. There you go. You need to go back to this lesson. It'll help. um, But literally, when you start to speak to your guides and you do that through meditation, all of a sudden in your present state, you're going to start noticing that they're all there all the time. And they really are just a help away. You can literally say, hey, dude, I need some assistance. Hey, I need help. Hey, what's happening to me? I don't know what's going on. They will either communicate through thoughts in your mind, and it's I can never say the word. Tele, I can spell it. I can't say it. It's kind of like people can't say spaghetti. I can't say tele. I can't say it. DELEPATHY. You can all laugh at me now. But they really are, it's reading thoughts back and forth because that's how spirit communicates. That's how they communicate with us. We call it hearing, but it's really how the brain is registering a voice. Okay. So you might hear thoughts in your mind. You might see visuals of how things that are happening. Michael, I knew, Michael, you were listening and laughing at me. Um, but it literally is exactly how it works. It's exactly how it works. Okay. Um, so take a moment today, work on that this week. Work on this week. I know those are big lessons. I know those are big things, but I really think we're at an age that, you know what, it's more than one. I think it's a lot more. I know it's the age of awakening, but I think it's awakening and going, okay, what do we do now that we're awake? Start these communications with yourself. Start these communications with your soul, with your spirit guides. Start to find some of these paths and then call people like myself or Michael or just a whole lot of different people that, are super qualified to do this work for more guidance and clarification sometimes of what you already know. Okay. So with that being said, we're going to take a moment here and we are going to take a break. And when I come back, I'm going to bring Miss Amie Burnis in here. Okay, this is DeEtte Renee here on School Through Spirit with WLTK DB.
Looking to launch your new masterpiece? Then try something new with Moonbow Publishing and Production. At Moonbow, we have a strong desire to serve authors in a powerful and meaningful way. After all, you poured your heart and soul into your writing, and we fully understand and respect that. Remember this: you will own the copyright to your work. You will have the final say on your work before being published. Even after all of that, we've saved the best for last. We won't take a percentage sold. Nope, not a penny. Excited about MoonbowPublications.com yet? We thought so. Take advantage of our company's services like book editing, formatting, and covers, publishing, and photography. Moonbow Publishing and Productions has everything you are looking for in a company. Remember, we will not keep any commissions. We are a boutique publishing company focusing on spiritual, health and wellness, and personal growth genres. Moonbow Publications and Productions, a new kind of publishing company.
Hello. Sorry, guys. I'm like in awe right now. I have been, give me a moment here. Hello, Miss Jalen. I have been looking at crystal skulls lately, not knowing, I know I need a skull. I don't know why. A friend literally just sent me this picture. I'm going to bring it up here. Do you see this, baby? My heart just went, "Oh, it's mine, it's mine." Y'all know Maria Celeste? That's who just sent me this picture. I'm telling you what, I'm telling Maria now, I sent her a text, I'm telling you guys, this is gonna be mine. This is gonna be mine. I don't even know how, I don't know why. It just feels like it's right, and I will tell her what, she knows me better than anybody and what I need, so there you go. Um, so anyway, with that being said, let's bring in Miss Amie Burnis. Sorry. Hi, Amy.
Hello, good morning.
I'm sorry. I happened to look at my phone on break and somebody sent me a picture of a crystal skull. I'm like, oh, I need that.
You're so excited.
I did. I lost it. I'm like gone here. Like, I need this thing. Oh, totally. Last week it was a snake. This week it's crystal skulls. Okay. I've always got something pulling my brain some way.
Always.
Always. So good morning. But tell everybody who you are and what you do. And I was supposed to have you on a few months ago, but life happened.
Yes. Oh my goodness. That's so funny that you said that, because this morning, time is hard, right? Like
Yeah.
Central, Eastern.
Yes.
And so I was like on an hour early. I guess it's better than an hour late.
I would rather have, hey, at least you showed up.
Yes. And I was like, okay, what can I do? Well, I, of course, started cleaning, because that's what you do when you are a mom and you're trying to multitask. But
Right. Exactly.
yes. So my name is Amie Burnis, and I am an author. I am a life coach, but more importantly, I just call myself a life experiencer, because I feel like that's what we're here to do, is experience life. And I just so happen to absolutely love learning processes, tools, and anything that can help people use their mind to create, a happy, joyful, balanced life. And I've kind of spent the last 6 years I've spent thousands of hours researching, learning tools, and implementing them into my life. And now I get to share them with others. We live in northern Wisconsin. I have 4 kiddos ranging. Yeah, I have 2 girls, 2 boys, 16 to 8 years old. So yeah, it's very fun, but very busy. I
The
used to
diapers
own
were
a
supposed to be done and you started again.
yeah, exactly. Yes, that was after a remarriage. And yeah, I definitely like to experience all that life has to
Yeah,
offer.
I would say so.
Yeah, so it's been an amazing ride, and I'm just grateful to keep experiencing things. So
I love that. You talked about how, this started, what, 6, 8 years ago?
yeah.
What caused it? What happened in your life that you went, "I need to do this?"
Well, here, so just about 11 years ago, I got divorced from my first husband. And, that was since I was 14. So I had all these years in this marriage. And then I was a single mom of 3 kids. And I met my now husband literally like a month after our divorce was final. And, things were good. He's an amazing person. But I found myself um really like, okay, so I have this great partner, I have these kids, but I'm still not truly happy. And
Right,
that was when I knew, I was like, there is something more to life than outside of ourselves. Like there has to be more. There has to be this whole like thing that I haven't learned yet. And
mhm,
so that's when I really started to like go into the world of self-development and the power of your thoughts and energy and vibration, just like
mhm.
everything. It was just, I knew there was more. I got to this point in my life and I was just like, theoretically, society tells me I have all the things that I should be happy with,
Right.
but I wasn't happy because I wasn't happy inside. And I didn't know like all the things and the tools and to move myself forward. And that's really where I started reaching and learning and looking, was about that time after society told me I should be happy, and with what was going on in my life, and I just really wasn't.
Oh, wow, and, that makes so much sense. I like that, but I like the fact that because so many people tell me, "Oh my god, I had this major life experience," or "I had this major," and I love to hear those
Yeah.
because those are the catalysts that really change us.
Yeah.
But to really walk into it going, "I just know there's more." You know
Right.
what I mean? Like, I need to find more. And it's
Yes.
funny because I've never been the and I'll admit it right now, I've never been a person that went out and said, "Oh my god, I gotta learn this or learn that." And I think it stems from my abilities because as a kid, I seemed to know it all and didn't know anything but knew it all, if that makes sense. I was that kid. "Good morning, Miss Lisa." Um, but I really was that person. So it was like, if somebody would start talking, I just knew what they were gonna talk about. I knew it was so it's like lost that drive to just go searching, you know what I mean? It
Yes.
just lost that drive to go, "Oh my god, there's more." I know there is. It'll show up when you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for myself, it's totally different. The catalyst for me to go learning is completely different than it is for most people.
Yeah.
Well, I like how you have that. I'm always in awe of people that just go, "I'm just gonna go study. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go find this out." That is
Yeah.
so cool. You know what I mean? To me, that's
Yes.
just so cool,
Oh, for sure.
you know? So how did you become like a life coach then? Ho
So
and where has that journey taken you?
so it's so funny because I truly believe everything we go through, like there are different pieces of the puzzle that we get that we can like, put on our puzzle of life. And in the moment we often don't really see it like how it transpired and how it added up to where we got to be. But now I look back and I'm just like in awe of all the things that had to happen in my life to bring me to this exact moment. There's like no mistake. And um, so how I kind of got to this point was so after I got divorced, I ended up opening a salon. And I was, that was such a blessing because I had 3 children that I now had to support as a single mother. And so I ran my salon and it was really good. I loved building that business. I love doing anything entrepreneurial,
Right?
so to speak. And so we ended up moving. We moved in 2015. So I was driving to work about an hour and I just got to a point where I felt like, again, there was more for me. I knew there was more. So I ended up selling my salon and I started working at a different salon. And
Oh, wow.
it was good. Like
Yeah.
nothing was wrong. It was just that I again was like, this just isn't like who I am now. There's something inside of me that I need to find out and fill. And so I first became a fitness instructor and I started doing that because I just love anything to do with health, wellness, spirit, mind, but all of it. It's just,
Right.
it fills me up. So I was doing that. And then I fell into looking at life coaching and I loved it because I had to go through the course myself before
Mhm.
I could, help clients with it.
Right.
And it was just this light that lit up inside of me. And learning about, of course, like I said, the power of your mind and the power of your thoughts. And gosh, I always say if I could do one thing in my life, it would be to give others like a mirror and they would literally be able to see their unlimited potential,
Mhm.
their, unlimited worthiness, their unlimited value just by being them. Not as a title, not as, success, money, any of that, just as you live and breathe because
Mhm.
who we truly are is freaking amazing and we
Oh,
are
yeah.
so unlimited in our potential. But of course, going through life, we come up against some pretty hard challenges, and a lot of times they can really throw us for a loop and knock us back. And that's kind of where I came into life coaching because I had gone through those moments. And when we moved, I have 3 children from a previous marriage, and so it kind of put me into this hard spot with my the kids' dad, and we had to figure out what's best for them.
Mhm.
And as a parent, not being able to say what is best for your kids because others are involved is the hardest thing I'd ever gone through. And it knocked me down. I'm talking, it was like one night I remember saying, all right, God, what do I have left here? You have to fix this or just take me because I can't do this anymore. I was so full of anxiety. I was waking up every morning exhausted, but I couldn't fall asleep at night because my body was buzzing with this anxious and just not knowing where to go.
Right.
And that I remember waking up the next morning and it was like this switch inside of me that was like, you know what? You're going to either continue on it in life and look at all that you think you don't have, or you have to be grateful for the moments that you're in.
Yeah.
And it was like, then it kind of switched and it wasn't immediate. It was one day, literally at a time to start building my, mindset back up and to get back to that place of strength that I had for so long. But, I think the beautiful part of that was that instead of, building myself back up to where I was, I
Mhm.
got to build up to a stronger me and to an unstoppable me. I mean, I'm not saying that I don't have times that come and break me because they do. I mean, I don't say break as in break me and I stay down. I have to break through them
Mhm.
and become this person. And I've learned through all of this, I swear the biggest lesson I came here to learn was patience and trusting in the universe. And that's where I'm at. And right now I'm putting so much trust because I know that the universe knows so much better than
Mhm.
I do. So it's like learning to let go. But
Right.
that's what brought me to the to
I
become a
love
life coach.
I love how you're talking about pushing through because as you're talking, it's like I'm looking at my own life because that's just how it happens. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Now, are you finding like you are like a totally different person before versus now? Like night and day difference,
Yeah.
you know?
Yes, I mean, it's hard because, as a mother of 4, and then, not everybody has this mentality because I used to think like, I mean, everybody has this ability. Everybody. I want to say that. I'm not special, but I will say I think way differently than most people. I do things that most people won't do because I just feel like it's inside of me. I mean, like this winter I decided I'm a very much a summer sun person. That's just my
You're in the
personality.
wrong place for that, you know this, right?
Yes. Yes.
I lived in that hemisphere up there, so I know and I am looking at guys like we're not like northern hemisphere. It's like northern Wisconsin versus southern Wisconsin is 2 different hemispheres.
Yes, yes. And but it's what pushed me. So this winter in November, I was like, you know what? I'm going to, like, I've always loved the Wim Hof breathing method, and I've taken ice baths because I've ran marathons, and you have to do that to get your legs to recover.
Right.
But here I was, okay, I'm going to do this just because I want to break that mental cycle. So I started out getting in the lake when it was about 20 degrees and the ice was just starting.
I think I've seen videos of you doing that, haven't I?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. So I was like, okay, well, there's no better way to push yourself than to get into a cold lake. So I was doing that, and it was great, but it was also taking up a lot of time. So then I just started doing the cold showers. So I feel like, back to the point of where we're going, I feel as though I'm still there. Of course, I still have my parts of personality that are the same. I still really love laughing and enjoying things. But yeah, as far as my habits, my life pattern, all of that, it is night and day, because I realized that there were a lot of things in my life that I was doing that just were not, in alignment with who I wanted to be. So night and day. Yeah. I've given up alcohol. I will be 1 year sober at the end of the month.
Right.
And that was
Congratulations.
amazing. It really opened me up.
I only drink in Mexico or Ireland, or
Yeah.
I'm not a big drinker anymore. I had my fun back in my day, and everybody's like, you don't drink, not unless I go to Mexico. And it's free there because I paid for it already.
Yes. Yes.
I
Yes.
come back and I'm like, good.
Yeah. It was something that I had to do.
Yeah.
I didn't do well in the moderation thing. So it was like, some people could literally have one or two. And I was like, wow, that's really awesome. And
Yeah.
I knew my strength wasn't in that. So I gave that up.
That's
And
okay. I mean, I had the issue with donuts. You're good.
yeah, but it forces you. And this is where I think a lot of people don't, like, we all have things that we can use that, like, kind of take us out of having to feel things.
Yeah.
And it forces you to feel your emotions. It forces you to find ways to actually go into the suppressed emotions that you're feeling. That was a big one.
Yep.
I don't like feeling like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't like feeling like down.
Yep.
It's hard for me. I'm a very
You're right.
go.
Yes. And I completely get that, because people don't realize, I mean, when you're talking about alcohol, but the same thing happens with like caffeine too.
Yes.
Because as I've gone through my journey, and that's one of the reasons why I don't really drink anymore, is because it was a choice, because Spirit said, come on, you're not dealing with stuff, you're not hearing us.
Yes.
And then it was like I was a huge coffee drinker, and they went, guess what's going next? And I went, what? And then they took my cigarettes away, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
But anything that can really, change the brain, or, hide that stuff, has basically gone to the wayside. I
Yes.
get to do it once in a while, but never
Yeah.
very often,
Right.
So I get that, but I don't think a lot of people understand that,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. It's feeling your emotions, because they're hard sometimes. Emotions are hard.
Yeah.
But what I feel like I've kind of gone through this almost rebirth this year. After I published my book,
Mhm.
I had to figure out how to be patient, to allow things to happen. Um, I've always, since I was a little girl, loved and felt like I was put here to do things for others, to help others.
Mhm.
And it's consumed me. And sometimes it kind of consumed me to the point where I had to take a step back, because I know that my time here on earth in this physical body is limited, yes, but my point of being here is also to experience my life. And
Mhm.
I'm not supposed to fix anyone or fix a path of anyone else, other than if I go first and hopefully share my journey enough that people will be inspired to be able to change their journey if they need to do that.
Mhm. Yeah, 100. I love that. I really do. Now, how do you get through to somebody? Because that's hard. I know how I do it, but I do it on the psychic mediumship. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's kinda I have back doors I can go through, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
a lot of them, and spirit does a lot of the work for me, but how do you do it?
That's a really good question because I'm married to one. I love him to death, but we're night and day thinkers. He's very much like ABC equals, like he does things very methodically. He's a power lineman, so his mind always has to be on what he's
Oh,
doing.
okay, yes.
Like he can't have his head in the clouds like me. I do that way more than enough for him. I'll tell you that.
Right.
So I've really learned that it is on everyone's own time. I never try to force anyone to see anything. They will, see things when they need to because
Mhm,
it's the timeline is perfect. We don't have to doubt. Like
mhm.
I think that's the thing. We want to push things and we want to rush things, but that's the beautiful thing. We don't have to do that because people will come around when they are ready. So I just let people come to me. I share as much as humanly possible about my life. I'm very open. I
Right,
don't hide things. I share the good as along with as with the bad, but I
right.
also have a very fight for yourself personality. I'm like,
Mhm.
hey, if things are tough right now, no one else is living your life but you. No one's gonna want to, see you succeed as much as you. So you have to fight for yourself. And I say that all the time. I'm like, get so in love with living life and wanting to, live the life that you want, that you fight for yourself. Because the thing is, our thoughts create our reality. Our thoughts create an emotion, which creates our reality. It's a vibrational universe, right?
Right.
So, how do we change our life? Well, one thought at a time.
Mhm.
And I always say that I'm like, first thing, if I'm working with someone, I'm going to tell you to get up in the morning, 5 minutes of your day. I want you to sit in silence and ask your higher self, your spirit guides, whatever it is
Were
that is
you
in.
listening to the show before you came on?
I got some of it, yes.
Okay, like
Yes. But I tell people, I say, do that. I said, and especially for people that haven't done it before, I said, you're going to feel really weird. Your mind's going to wander, and that's okay. But sit there every day and do that. And you will start to get downloads. And we all receive in different ways, right? Like,
Mhm. We do.
obviously,
Yeah.
I get mine in boom, like big inspiration pieces, and I'll be like writing things down feverishly. But I think that's what makes me a writer is because I get these like downloads and I start writing out how I'm going to do things. And I won't really have any clue until I get that big burst. But,
Right.
um, and yes, I would say that I'm very intuitive. I'm very, very like, I'll listen, but I think everybody has that, but they doubt themselves.
Mhm.
You have to doubt your fear more than your faith. And you have to doubt your, limiting beliefs more
Right.
than your ability to do things. And that's really what I do is help people understand, that there is a choice. I say that with so much conviction every day that we wake up. We have a choice. We can wake up and go on autopilot and live like Groundhog's Day. Oh, I got to do ABC. I
Mhm.
got to do ABC. Or you have to wake up and start thinking about your life the way you want it to be. And, I swear, if everybody would just do that every day, like start doing that, things start to happen. I mean, it's no the law of attraction doesn't make mistakes.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
No. So if you are thinking about the lack of not having your desires as opposed to your desires, you're going to get more of that. So you have to
Mhm.
get really good at focusing on things as though they've happened. And how do you do that? You write it out, you think about it, you dream. That's my whole like the soul fed thing is the freedom and energy to live your dream life. And that's truly what we all came here to do was
Right.
to create our experience and to go through everything because we have so much polarity on earth. Nowhere else on earth is like this. And if there's
Right.
a waiting list to get here because it's so amazing,
Mhm.
there's so much contrast to experience here.
Right. Now, are you a fan of Mike Dooley? You're
I've never
Oh my, you're kidding me.
Dolores Cannon.
You 2 could be like you sound like one of his mentor students.
Really?
Check him out. Oh my god, he's all about thoughts become reality, you know what I mean? That's his whole MO is thoughts become reality
Yeah.
and manifestation and the law, the law of attraction and a lot of the things you're saying to do are what he has built a whole empire on.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like an empire on his work.
Yes.
So, yeah,
That's
I love
amazing.
that. I'm gonna have to look at Dolores Cannon because more people have brought up Dolores. I'm like, I need to go there. I need to go. I need to like write myself a memo and say, check her out. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes. I love her. Well, she's no longer on the physical plane anymore, but she's
Right.
amazing. Yeah.
But yeah, well, neither is Nostradamus or Edward Cayce, but I have an affinity with them. So yeah.
Oh, yeah, she actually has a book that is on Notre Dame. I can't say that very well.
I
So
can't say Tallulah. I still can't say it.
now I can't say it.
Michael was laughing at me like I'm like, I'll spell it for you guys. It's
Oh,
like I can say
that's so
spaghetti.
Yes.
Other people could say
Yes. That's so funny.
it is awesome, ain't it?
Yes.
I love that. So right now I want to talk about two things.
Yes.
One is your book because
Yes.
that's in there.
Yeah.
I also want to talk what you guys are doing right now.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Let's hold the book off for a second because
Okay.
we could talk a lot about that. And I keep hearing that we need to scream at the towers what you are doing right now. This I know about it.
Yeah.
I see the huge inspiration. And I don't know if you've heard this, but I keep sending stuff and I'm gonna call her Charlie today because that's the
Okay.
name.
Yes.
Because she get mad if I call her anything but Charlie.
Yeah.
So she better be listening and going, thank you.
Mm.
I don't know if you know this, but I'm on this side going, oh, and I'm hearing you're gonna doing this. And normally she's like, shut up, knock it off.
Yeah.
And now she's like, I can see that happening, and you should be here for it.
Yes. Oh,
I'm like, she's turned the tables on me,
yeah.
So let's talk about this big, huge inspiration
Yeah.
that had just happened over the last week.
Right.
And give the and I know this is like everybody's like, what the hell are you talking about? But
Mhm.
you just talked about that was big inspiration. So it's big, oh my God, this happened.
Yeah.
And since this is something that really, and she is listening,
Yeah.
and she just busted herself. So there you go.
Oh, that's funny.
Let's look out at how that process works.
Yeah.
By something that's currently happened with you. So
Okay.
now,
Yeah.
was this your inspiration or was it her inspiration or did you get sucked into it? Because I know she'll suck you in and then you
Yeah.
went boom with it.
Yes. So this is so funny how this happened. So last week I like have this thing I do every morning. So I like read my affirmations, read a little bit of a book, and then I meditate. Well, I had done some of that and I was writing this post about how the Western woman will save the world and how, like just there is no, like I said, you have no, what is that word? I can't, restrictions. Your potential is unlimited. So I'm writing this post and all of a sudden my ear is just like, and it starts ringing and I'm like, oh, okay. So I like set down my phone and I'm like, okay, what do I need to hear? Because you're trying to get my attention. It was like intense. I was like, whoa. So I set down my phone and all of a sudden I'm just hearing enough. It's enough. It's time to stop hiding. Like there, since you were young, you've always had this, ability and you want to do things in your life and you want to do things, but you hide parts of you because you feel like sometimes you're too much for people.
Mhm.
And so I was like, holy crap. So of course I get on Messenger to Charlie and I'm like, just like all these words are coming out of my mouth. And she's like, oh my gosh, can I call you? It's like, yeah. So we were talking and she's like, that was for me. Like, you just channeled the message for me. I'm like, yeah, I think that's like the first time that's ever happened, like that intense, because it was like, it was like, whoa, my ears
I was
started
gonna say,
buzzing.
you're hiding too?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm telling her this. Well, obviously the message is for both of us.
Right.
I mean, we have definitely very different skills or whatever, talents or whatever you want to call it, gifts, abilities. so she just is like, I have this, thing I've been wanting to do. And she's telling me her idea of having this, like a healing event where people can come and, get introduced to the metaphysical side and really just the healing, that there is available. Because there's so much that, people can do to heal, especially over the last couple of years, because it has been hard. People have been, they have had a limited interaction and they really need to heal. Like now is the time for people to start healing themselves. And so when she said that, I was like, well, let me know what I can do. And she's like, boom, like she has all this, like, okay, here's where it's gonna be. And all of a sudden I'm getting messages and she's like, she's blown away. And I'm like, I'm not, because obviously you were meant to do this for how long. But, I think that's where, everybody has such amazing abilities and skills. And she has this, a beautiful medium psychic gift.
Yes.
And then I have this really like drive and intensity of motivation. Like that's kind of my thing. But then, I was able to get her to go into hers, you know what I mean? So that was kind of how it transpired, which obviously I believe is obviously the universe guiding us together. But yeah, we just have this beautiful idea of this event where people can come and, I would love to speak and lift people. And then, all of the amazing, vendors that will be there to just bring healing and introduce people that, well, some will be introduced, some will be, open to it. Mm-hmm. But I feel now more than ever, people are really open to learning and growing how to heal and move forward in their lives.
Yeah. And I just think what you guys are doing up there is amazing. I really do. Well, there's some companies that are, Northwoods, psychic, mediumship, wellness, whatever, but they don't go as far up as you are.
Right.
You know what I mean? They really, at least, let me step back and say that you do have that go up, but they go up in Western, not up in Eastern. You know what I mean? They'll skip right over you guys and go straight to, up to the UP, but there's that big chunk of place that there's not a whole lot.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I think it's beautiful that you're bringing just so many people and so many together up there.
Yeah.
And I also want to tell you, I'm just in awe because, I've done a lot of psychic events, psychic wellness, metaphysical, paranormal, whatever you want to call them. And I'm in awe to see how many of the people I have gone on these treks with all over the place that are coming.
Yeah.
They're all like, you know what I mean? They're coming, they're showing up, and I'm like, this is awesome,
Yes.
And it's like, I need you guys to get a final contract so I can like post, hey, everybody, let's see if we can get 100 vendors up there.
Yes.
Let's blow it up, you know what I mean? And see what we can do. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I'm hoping this is just as big as can be and just a million people come in. I really am. I'm hoping for like a 2-day event for you guys eventually. I mean, I'm manifesting this for you. Charlie, you have no choice because Spirit said it. I heard it. There you go.
I'm laughing. And she it's so crazy to me because I just see it and I'm like, holy crap, like you have everything you need to make it happen. I'm just kind of like not holding your hand at all, but I'm like just being like here, like, hey, I will do whatever I can. But she has it. She has it in the bag. I'm just like, hey, what can I do?
Well, you know what? I think you might as well just get on board because I think she sees it too. But I really am seeing like this year might be a 1-day event, blah, blah, blah. But I really do see this kind of moving into something that really is like a 2.5 days. So a Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday, might as well get a place that has some camping availability somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, and just really going, okay, let's just blow up the Northwoods. You know what I mean? So,
oh my gosh, that'd be amazing. I would love to see that.
Oh yeah. Well, you're going to help her.
Yes. Oh yes. Like I said, she's kind of got like the whole detail stuff worked out. I'm like, I'll bring the energy. I'll bring like the vibe. Like that's me.
I love it. Oh my God. I just got a message from her.
Oh boy.
The contract is done.
Oh,
All right. Awesome. So, lady, I need to know the name of it. You know what, Charlie? Put in the comments the name and the information so I can send people. Just saying.
yeah, she did send that to me this morning, and then to look it over. So
There you go.
yeah,
We
yes,
need that so to get it out. So I'm loving that because I think you guys, you know what? I think you and her together up there are just going to blow up a lot of things, which I
yeah,
love. I
yeah.
love.
I
You
I,
know,
I agree. I love
I
her.
can
So.
just see it going boom. You know what I mean? It's like if you can figure out how to do it in the wintertime, she'd probably be out there shoveling. So I can see like you shoveling out a park, you know, like bring the equipment, hon. You know what I mean?
So funny.
I
I love
love
it.
it. So
Yes.
let's talk about your book. Let's
Yeah.
talk about this book. I am
Yes.
so excited to hear about the book.
Thank you.
What about the book?
So, okay. It's like I said, I just go back because it puts me in awe how everything transpires and everything works out. When I was in middle school, I absolutely loved this creative writing class. And back then I did a lot of poems and I journaled and stuff like that. And at one point I remember starting to write a book. It was a fiction book. And the main character's name is oddly one letter away from my oldest daughter's name. Um, it's funny how it all works. But so like I said, all the things kind of transpired. I became the fitness instructor and then the life coach. And I was like, I have these tools that I know will totally help people and really change their life if they apply them and use them. But how do I get them out to a lot of people? I can't life coach the entire planet, but I can write a book and, it be available. So I started writing the book in October of 2019. And it was such a beautiful process. I loved it. I would just sit down and just clear my head and say, all right, guides, just guide me through this, like help me write this book. And I wrote it and it was just beautiful. I loved it. And then I finished in March of 2020. And I was so excited. I was, getting ready to like release it to the world, and the world shut down. And I was just like, what is happening? It was honestly it was just, well, for one, everybody was going through this, right? We're all like, at first, what's going to happen? Our entire lives are just about to change. And we had no idea what to expect. And so I kind of got thrust into this, I don't know, this deep kind of frustrated. I was very frustrated. I was very bitter. I was angry. I was so upset that it was like I finally felt like I was going to be able to do something that I've always wanted to do. And this happens. And I got stuck in that loop for about a year. I was just like, whatever. I was really just living my life, just trying to get through. I wasn't really true to who, I am. And
Right.
finally, it was in February of 28th of 2021. That's when I was like, enough is enough. You have to stop this. You need to go on with your life. And so it was the end of March, and I had this book and I had written in it, further. It was kind of funny because I had a session with Charlie, and I said, what do I do with this? I was so lost, and I was always looking for answers outside of myself because, it's awesome to hear from someone that is actually literally speaking with your spirit guides. And they told me that, I said, May, like this spring, that's when I'm going to, the book's going to be. And she's like, no, I'm thinking fall. And I was like, oh, okay. Cause I'm very, you can tell, obviously, right? Like
Right.
I need to go.
You got a lot of energy. Yes, I need that. Like,
sorry.
need your
Yeah.
energy.
So anyway, I started the process and I got the book edited, and I was just going. It was terrifying because I had no idea how to do it. It was, it was editing and formatting and covers. And I was just like, oh, but I did it. I just took the first step that I knew how. And I got to the very end, and it was October 27th of 2021 that my book was published. And of course, in the fall, as my spirit guides had told me.
Right.
And it was so, I don't know, like I remember walking down the road. I had gone on a walk and get the email saying your book is now live. And I'm listening to this song that's basically telling me like, I'll be there for you. And it was like this moment of me looking back and like loving myself then and not knowing where I would be now, if that makes sense. And I'm like walking down the road crying and I'm like, I don't care if people see me. Like, it's fine. It's fine. And so I'm just like in awe. This whole moment I've just felt like is here. And it's been so amazing. I'm just looking at it because I just think about it.
Well, show it.
Yeah.
Show it. Let's see it.
So this one. This
Awesome.
is the cover. And so Soulfed originally originated. I had a Reiki session with a good friend. It was a long time ago, like 4 years ago. And I had saw my grandpa, he is no longer with us. And he said, go change the world. Now is your time. And I was like, okay. And then I heard Soulfed, and it was the freedom and energy to dream. Yeah. And that's, and 3 years ago, I became a life coach. So the company was called Soulfed. Little did I know that this would be the title of my book 3 years later. Right. And it was just such a beautiful moment, but also terrifying because I'm putting out, I wrote this, right? Like it's in my heart and I wrote it. And now the whole world gets to tell me if they like it or not. And it was in that moment that I remember calling my husband and bawling my eyes out because I told him, I said, you know what? I said, for the first time in my life, I have to just let it go. I can't, I don't have any control over this. People are going to either resonate with it or they're not. But I said, my whole life, I felt like I had to be something, like always. And I don't, like it was such a very hard moment for me. And I said, I can't do that anymore. I said, I can't put my worth on what people think of me or don't think of me. Yeah. And so I told him, I said, whatever happens with this book, I said that they don't get to determine my value anymore. They don't get to tell me if I'm worthy. If they don't resonate with this book, that's great. There's 4 million trillion other books they can resonate with, but that doesn't mean that my words aren't also valuable and that my words won't also, help someone, because we all have a way of speaking. We all have a way of receiving information. And that's why there's so much need for us to speak up and share our truth, because someone else is going to resonate with what you say and the way you say it. Yep. And so that's kind of why I wrote this, is that I knew that I could, potentially help others. And I will say it in a way that someone else won't, but someone else is going to say it in a way I won't, that helps others. And that's kind of what this whole journey brought me to. And I'm so grateful for it. I cannot wait. I'm just finishing up my second book. Yeah, I'm so excited for this one.
When's that coming out?
It should. Okay, so if now that I've done this once, it should be. My goal is by the end of May to have this book out. So
awesome.
Yes, I will give it. I will be putting it into editing next month, and then it's going to be illustrated as well. It oddly enough, I don't know what it is with that year 2018, but I did a lot of things, and I think I laid the groundwork, but I wasn't ready to step into my true potential. Mm-hmm. And so that book, part of it was wrote in 2018. I did a kind of a seminar, not a seminar, but I spoke to the elementary school in our town.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And the book that I said, it was a guidebook that I wrote. At that time, it only had 5,000 words, and I went back in and I added 20,000 words to it. And so
just added 20,000 words.
Yeah. And this book is just so sweet. I love it because if I were to say what the book is about, it would be the owner's manual for your mind to create radical happiness. And it would be the book that I would want to hand to every young adult, like, here you go. This is to help you. It will have a process to help you through any area of your life, to break through limiting beliefs, to build confidence, affirmations, breathing exercises, forgiveness. I mean, I poured every tool that I can think of that I have learned into this book. And I'm just so excited because I have 4 kids, and, I'm their mom. So they don't see me as an author or a life coach. They see me as mom. And so, yes.
Mom.
Yes. There's no, like, when I wrote my book and published it, let me tell you, if anybody were to ever keep you down to earth, it is your kids, because they're like, well, congratulations. What, like,
Good job.
Good job. Now what? Like, you still need to make me dinner, Mom. So yeah, they are very humbling. But that was my goal, is to have this for I just want to have it on every nightstand of every, child and adult. That it's definitely made for adults too, but it's simple enough that young minds can take it and apply it to their life.
I love that. I love that,
Yeah.
And I love the fact that you have 2 books. Well, almost 2 books.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now my curiosity, do you do your own editing, or do you have somebody else doing it?
I go
suck
through
at grammar. I mean, my idea is to use, Word and hit this.
Yeah.
And apparently that doesn't do a very good job, because I'm called out on it all the time.
Well, I will tell you. So this actually was my favorite lesson that I just had. I did have my book edited professionally, and also I use my my Word. They have an editing app, but I go through, put it in there. I read it about 10 times, and then I send it to an editor. And I did have someone edit it, but there are so many different styles that I did. A reviewer said, I don't think that your book was edited in the way that it should have been. And at first I was upset, but then I was like, well, you know what? If I didn't do it the way I did, I don't think I would have done it, because it was extremely hard for me to get my book out there as it was, just because my faith in myself was like, yes, it was there, but it was also super hard. So I went back in and did some edits, but the beautiful thing about it, the edits were like, oh, here's a comma. Like, it didn't take anything away from the book. The book still had the same message. And I just was able to do that. So with that being said, yes, I do have the book professionally edited. Then of course the next step is to have it proofread. And that's, like I said, those were some of the steps I didn't really know. And now that I know, I get to do that with the next book, and just feel really confident now in this whole process, as opposed to the first one, where I felt like I literally had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah, and the reason I'm asking is not only myself, because Spirit's been telling me for years to write a book. I'm like, no. Okay, maybe. Last year they had me outline them. The other night I got a message, literally, and I wrote it down. I thought it was for somebody else. It turned out it was for me. I'm like, oh my God, knock it off. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, if you do it, what's the process? And I know a lot of people are out there, because this day and age you have so much self-publishing. There's so much of it. So it's kind of like, how do you go about this? I know people like to know about that, like, how do you go about this?
Definitely write. I always say, just write it. And then you can always go back in, and everybody has different, ways of doing things. I write first. I don't know, like I said, when I get my inspiration, I'll get a very detailed outline. And usually, like I said, I'll be like, okay, I know I want to write this book. I know what it's about. Then I'll receive what's going to be in the book, as far as like the actual outline. And then I go in and write, and then I go back in and like, okay, so I'm very methodical in that. My writing is very organized, which is funny because I'm not a detailed person. Like, I just kind of fly by the seat of my pants in a way. But my writing, it's like, okay, well, here's this, and then this element, and it's so organized, which is so weird. I'm definitely not a type A person, so it's very weird to me that that's how I write. But I think that that's how I receive my inspiration. So I would say, write it. If you have it in your heart, it's for you. It's meant to. So get it out, write it out. And then you can always go back in if you don't have an outline and have someone help you with the developmental editing part of it. That will be very helpful. And, that'll kind of put you onto the right track. So absolutely write it. If it's in your heart, it was meant for you to do.
I love that. I love that. So
Yeah.
what do you see coming for you?
Oh my goodness. So, well, I see like my dog's so funny. She's sitting out here growling at me and I'm like, hey mom. But, so what I would love to see is so my third book is already, I'm writing that as well. That one,
Just write it.
yeah, that one I'm super excited about because, it's really about why, like, knowing you came here for a purpose and you have like your soul contracts and all of your experiences and everything's for you. I kind of keep hearing all for you. But basically your life you designed for you, and there's really no bad or good. It's just an experience. So, I feel like my experience and what I would love to do is to keep writing. I would love to have a group where people can come in and I can share and we can hold each other up and grow together. Because I am not an expert. I don't like that term because what does that mean? I'm an expert. No, I feel like I'm a professional student because I love learning and I love growing. So I want to keep growing with others and I want to speak. That's something that's nerve-wracking, but I truly love when I can share something and somebody's like, oh my gosh, I just got an idea or it pushed me. So really that's what I want to do, is to keep sharing and growing. I share videos on TikTok and YouTube already about the tools in the book, and they're very short so people can actually watch them and apply them.
Right.
And just being present. That's my biggest thing, is learning to know that where I am is okay and to be excited about the future, but also really learning to be so involved in where I'm at in this moment, because even when you get to the future, it's still going to be the present moment,
Right.
So yeah, that's kind of where I see myself, just sharing, growing, loving others. I pray being an inspiration for someone to take a step forward in their life, to fight for themselves. That's my mantra. And it's kind of funny because I keep seeing it in my Facebook memories and it was like, fight for yourself. And that was even 5 years ago. And that's really my mantra, is fight for yourself. Like you have to love yourself enough to see your potential. And I feel like that's what my tools are made to do, is to help everyone, move forward or just be more present and invested in themselves.
I like how, because it's like I'm always on the keep it simple, stupid type terminology is in my head. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's only because I have to keep it simple for myself, or I just get 2x4 therapy really bad.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, it sounds like like you teach people come out of their own closets.
Yeah.
And that's or come out from behind their tree, whichever part of the nation you live in. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
I do think that as a regular day-to-day that we find that everybody has that closet they sit in, or a tree they hide behind, something, a face, something that
Yes.
they're not necessarily coming out. And sometimes that is hiding from themselves. Sometimes it's the mask they put on so that they don't have to see it,
Yeah.
I know, like, this week I have my students working on this, and I know they're all, like, screaming at, like, "Why?" But I'm making them stand naked in front of a mirror
Yeah.
every day
Yes.
just to look at themselves and say, "Oh my god, is there a spot you don't like?"
Yeah.
Look at it. Find something that you like. Find that to embrace. Stop hiding. Just be you in all your glory and all of your worth.
Yes.
So it sounds like a lot of your tools are just literally simply to say, "Come on, guys.
Yes.
Stop hiding even from yourself."
Oh, that's beautiful. That's so, and the way you said that about the masks, I actually have a verse in my book, and it talks about how I always felt like I was standing standing behind mirrors so that others could feel more comfortable, because it was like, oh, like if I'm too much, then, I cause, when you are like always growing and moving forward and and you are confident in who you are, it causes people to have a reaction. Some are inspired by that and they want to, become into their authenticity. And some get pissed off because it is causing them to be really like, who does she think she is telling me that I should do this? And does she not know what I've gone through?
Yeah.
And so it causes a big reaction either way. Some people hate it because it causes them to have to feel something. And if they're not happy with where they're at, you're going to be the person that
You're going to get
causes,
it.
Yes.
You're going to get it.
Yes. And that's why I think I had done that for so long, because I didn't want to be that person. I didn't, I wasn't strong enough in those moments to be able to take it. And now I'm like, you know what? Look, I get that whatever you're going through is valuable and it's, a hard experience, but that's okay. I don't need to take it personally anymore. And I think that I had to get to that spot because the universe knew that I wasn't going to be ready, to handle certain things until I got to this point. And I still will obviously need to grow and work on that as well. But that's really what it is being true to who you are, because I have people that I can talk to and just it can be, oh, the weather, this and that. And then I can be talking to somebody about how, that this is like, past lives and how we come here and, we're just God experiencing life and we go back and bring our experience. Like, I love those conversations, but I think it's hard to show your true self like that. And sometimes because some people don't think like that, and that's okay. I know I can have those conversations with, but I also love that you get to be true to who you are more when you just trust that this is the journey I'm meant to go on. And my journey, I don't believe is to play small. I've felt that from, all my life. I've just felt this like incessant. And when I ran from it, I swear the anxiety got worse, because it's like, you can distract yourself for so long before the universe is going to be like, wham, enough is enough. Pay attention. And so now I've gotten better at paying attention instead of getting,
slammed in the head with it. Yeah. No, I completely get it, because I spent most of my life like that. And it was so funny because I've got this really huge aura. My aura is like, it's out, it's big.
Yeah.
And I can remember people going, oh, it's so much. So, originally what I did is stop showing up to places because I didn't know what they were talking about, but I would stop going.
Yeah.
And then I would hear why aren't you showing up? Well, you're telling me my aura. They're like, but you're robbing us of you because we enjoy that. And I'd be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then as I got more through this metaphysical journey, and actually it was about 7-8 years ago, a friend looked at me and she says, you got this huge aura, but it tends to push people away. You need to learn how to pull that in. And I tried doing that thinking, okay, maybe that's what I need to do. So I would pull this aura in and I felt dead. I felt hard. I felt like this wasn't me anymore.
Yeah.
And I still didn't know what that was about. And it wasn't until I literally gone through this journey and I'd gone through my master teachership and I was mentoring with Lisa Williams, but I was going through a year-long, literally her life coaching for me. Back then I didn't realize what it was. We were just talking about, my healing time.
Yeah.
And I learned at that point that I was a survivor of my life.
Yes.
I wasn't a liver of my life.
Yes.
And when people go, what do you mean? Surviving is great. Well, you can survive cancer, but that means you have a potentiality of it coming back at you.
Oh, yes.
If you're cured, it's not going to come back. And your life is the same thing. So I had survived my life, which meant I had all this stuff that had happened.
Yes.
And I put it behind me.
Yes.
I ignored it. I got through it. And of course, it would reoccur in different forms because I'd only survived anything.
Yes.
So it was a whole thing of, okay, now you have to look at those memories. Now you have to look at your life. Now you have to feel. Now you have to understand. And you're going to cry. I learned to swear. I swore a little bit. I got a sailor's mouth now because if I hear the word F, I'm going to say the word F. And I can't say that F right now because he's not got the bleep button yet installed.
I hear you.
I swear a ton, and it's okay.
Yeah.
But I learned then my aura's big,
Yeah.
and I don't care.
Yes.
But I will invite you into it. I will say,
Yes.
"Come on in. It's warm
Yes.
in here. I got blankets and cookies, and it's okay."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's learning to be yourself. It's learning to say, "Okay, this is me, and
Yes.
I'm done surviving. I'm on to living." You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I think people as a populace, if they understood that,
Yeah.
they would really approach life a little bit differently. You know,
Yeah.
you'd learn who you are. You'd learn about those what maybe somebody else calls a fault, which really maybe is your strength. You know,
Yes.
like I'm a storyteller. I'm the one in the classroom. If you give me 10 seconds, I'm going to take an hour because I'm not going to shut up. I'm going
Ye
to, you
Yes.
know,
Yes.
but people look at me and you're like, "Oh, but I love your stories and you're animated and you're all over the place. And we just laugh at you. And that's good. Laugh at me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's embracing who you are,
Yeah.
and saying, this is me. Love me or hate me.
Yeah.
This is me. These are my strengths. These are my characters,
I
you know?
agree. Yeah, and that's I think something that all of us need to understand is that we yes, we of
Yeah.
course have empathy and sympathy and I my true my true character is to love others. Like I truly do love. Actually, I feel like that's why I have pushed myself so much is because I freaking care so much about people's happiness. Like I don't know if you can tell. Like I literally care so much that it has pushed me to become this person and to grow that to help them that I literally thought that I had to suffer. Like I thought I had to suffer and it was really tough. And then I finally was like, okay, wait, I don't want to suffer anymore. Like I had a lot of pain in my life and I had a lot of, woe is me, but I don't need to suffer anymore to learn. Like, yes, I will have hard moments and hard emotions, but I'm not going to say that my purpose is to suffer,
Yeah.
so it is to grow and it is to learn and however that looks now is okay. But you're so right, like you get to choose who you are at all moments and you do change and you do grow and sometimes you are too much for people and I'm saying that all of us that are too much and
Yeah.
that's okay and that's such a beautiful lesson. Like I like why hide parts of yourself? People are going to judge you anyway. People think what they want.
Yeah.
And that's what I always say. You don't live with the pain of not living your life because of what someone else says about you. You do.
Yeah.
You have to live with not being true to who you are. And people, like I said, people will go on with their lives and not think a second more about you not living your life because
Yeah.
they don't get it. People they're very,
Yeah. And that's just it because you will hear it. And I heard it a lot. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
I heard it a ton of, oh, if you just did this or if you just did that, maybe they would just, maybe.
Oh
And it was
yeah.
like, really, it's like, thank you for telling me how you feel I should be.
Yes.
But none of that is making me happy. And none of that is helping me at
Yes.
all.
Oh
None
yeah.
of what you have just said has done anything but make you feel better that you had your voice to tell me how to live my life.
Right.
And if you really feel there's something wrong with me, why don't we sit down and have a talk? Because maybe you're getting something I'm not understanding that I
Yeah.
do have to work on.
Yes.
You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
And when I look back over it all, they all were picking up on my life. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
they just didn't have enough cumulative common knowledge to realize they weren't seeing somebody that was damaged or hurt.
Yes.
And to know that my body was just reacting in fight or flight all the time and my aura was pushing people away because it got spiky because I was scared and I was terrified.
Right.
And people don't always necessarily realize that. And I think like before you'd come on, I was talking about, some sort of an awakening, like people understanding.
Yeah.
And I think during this period of time, it's people literally taking those moments to step back and go, versus me telling you what's wrong, how about if I sit down with you and say, hey, can I listen?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you'll come to your own things on your own time. If I just sit here and not pick out your faults,
Right.
but just listen to maybe some of your strengths.
That's what life coaching really is just being that sounding board. And I did a giveaway of a package, a life coaching package, and I'm coaching someone right now, and it's just so beautiful watching her come alive in her confidence. And all it took was me just like I could, because you can see and hear what people are saying so much better than what you can, it's kind of hilarious. Like I could literally sit there and listen to someone and be like, oh, here's what you're saying over and over again, and be able to tell them that. But then me, of course, when it's myself, it's so much harder. But that's what it is. It's just being that sounding board for others, helping them move forward in their life, and just being a listening and caring and a cheerleader. Really, that's what I kind of consider myself. Not, and it's funny because I hated cheerleading. I did it one game and I quit. But
I was a cheerleader for 2 years. I loved it.
Yeah, I'm an athlete, so I'm on the other side of it. But yeah. So
I was always the base to the cheerleading squad. So I did hoorah rah. I was the only one that did the splits, and everybody seemed to climb on my back. So I think I got in between there.
That's so funny. Yeah. It's the cheerleading aspect, but that's really what we all need. I mean, I feel like if that's what my book hopefully does for people, is to give them that motivation, the inspiration, and just, be a advocate for people living their life and being okay and moving forward, and knowing whatever you went through is okay. But now it's the time to choose to step forward and grow into who you are meant to be.
Now, is that a message you would give to people? Because at this point, I literally go, what message would you like to give to people?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes, I would say definitely that. And then also, I just want to leave with this. I would say that do not let your past, your emotions, where you are, your circumstances define you. That is not who you are. Who you are is an innate, amazing being who has everything they need to make things happen inside of them. But you have to connect with your worthiness first. And I say that with so much conviction, because if you can connect with your worthiness and move forward, you will move mountains. But first, connect with that.
I love that. Oh my God. Thank you so much, Amie.
Well,
I am
you.
so blessed that you came on. I can't wait to meet you face to face this summer.
Oh, me neither.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm so looking forward to it, and if I could get up there before then, I would, but I think I'm getting busier.
Yes, well, good. I hope that's the case for everyone.
I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. I'm like, let's do this. Let's run. Get me all over the place. You know what I mean? I'm good with busy. I'm so good with busy.
That's so good.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for Charlie connecting me and Amie together, because it's truly been a blessing. So,
oh, thank you. I appreciate it so much. It's been so fun to talk with you.
Now, how do people find you though? Before I say goodbye, how do they find you?
Awesome. So I have a few different places. On Facebook, I have an author Amie Burnis page. I do a ton of lives in there, and I just will basically get on and share what's in my heart of the day. TikTok, Amie Burnis, Instagram, Amie Burnis, YouTube. If you just search, it should all pop up. But that's, and the book is on Amazon itself. Soulfed, Rising Up Through the Moments That Broke You. It's on there for purchase, ebook or paperback as well.
I love it. Well, thank you again, darling. I appreciate you.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Okay, everybody, this is DeEtte Renee here on School Through Spirit with WLTKDB. I'll be back in a few moments with your weekly reading.
Meet Nicole Strickland, one of the leading San Diego paranormal researchers. Nicole offers a gentle and humble approach to working with spirit energies. Being the founder of the San Diego Paranormal Research Society, Nicole is no stranger to the unknown. Due to Nicole's vast knowledge of the paranormal, she is widely sought after for speaking engagements on topics like Children of the Paranormal, Paranormal Investigation 101 and 102, history of spiritualism, and more. Not only does Nicole research the afterlife, but also writes about it, and is the author of several books pertaining to the paranormal and its history. She has appeared on television shows like My Ghost Story, Travel Channel's Famously Afraid, Good Morning San Diego, and more. Have a conference or event coming up? Contact Nicole on her website, authornicolestrickland.com. That's authornicolestrickland.com.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Just, I'm getting trolled again, guys, which I'm not upset about it. Just, you know what? They're saying, hey, you're worth like trolling. So there you go. No, none of those people. It's IFA reader. If a reader. I think it's more like if you're a reader. I'm not quite sure. But that's not me. You know what? Please don't go there. It's totally up to you. But you know what? It's just one of those Facebook scammer, troller type people that are, just jumping on whatever they can to try to get some business. So it's not somebody I endorse. It's not somebody I even know who they are. It's not somebody I'm saying go to. We are blocking them on our side as fast as they're coming in. Just please know it's not me, and I would never do that because to me that's very unethical. They have no authenticity, and they are just who they are in this lifetime. So with that being said, and if you see my name and they're doing the same thing, trust it's not me. I don't do that. So I let people come to me for readings. I don't go to them and try to scam people into one. Okay, so let's do. God, I hate this. Somebody has I hate it when somebody does that whole thing with cards and rounds them up in the middle, and it starts to break the binding, and I feel like somebody is secretively come in and use my cards as a blackjack dealer or something. I know it's probably me back in the day, or this was a deck I utilized with my students or something. But now that's a little bit better. Anyway, I'm hearing 4 cards again, guys. 4 cards. So let's do this. 4 cards. This is your weekly reading for the week. Now you can pick 1, number 2, number 3, or number 4, or you can pick 2 or more cards. Pick them all. Be greedy. Do whatever you need to for you. This is a card for you for today, and it is a card for you for the rest of the week until next week, and something to work on. What's going on in your life? Something to work on. So as always, I'm using Lisa Williams' Intuitive Soul Oracle deck. I love this deck, and I'll tell you right now, unless you see it on the shelf someplace, you can't get it anymore unless you speak French. So if you have anybody in Paris that's watched me today, you can still get this deck in a French thing, or if you speak French. But if you only want the English version, find it on a bookshelf or use books, grab it because it is no longer being published and you can't get them. So, that's one card we're going to use. I'm also going to do the clarification card. The clarification card is going to come from the Divine Feminine Oracle with Megan Watterson. I haven't used that one as a deck lately. So, and something just said, try it, use it. It's not a deck I often gravitate towards. So it is definitely a deck for you to do. So we've already got one card that popped out, as you've seen. Let's go for the other 3. So I'm going to put them in front of me. I'll tell you what. Oh my God, we finally got we got some cards the same. Some cards. But we got some different cards too. Oh my God, my hair today. I don't know what's going on. So let's go with card number 1. It's the Journey card, guys. I swear this card comes up every week, doesn't it? And this is the one that flew out of the deck. Okay, this is one that popped out of the deck. So this isn't like a place card or anything else. You see it go bloop, and here you go. So this was it. So the Journey card is really telling me if you pick number 1, you are really at that time of crossroads. Okay, you are coming up to that path, whether it's take a right, take a left, or if you got 2 or 3 different choices, you have been thinking about something, change in your own personal life. And it is time for you to really look at which way you want to go. It's telling me that, you know what, you're more than likely not going to keep going forward, and at least not on the same trajectory you've been. You're pretty much, I'm literally seeing at this point, you're going right or left. You do have the path that's going forward, but as you notice, what I'm feeling this week with this card is, you notice the path going forward is uphill. It's got some steps. The steps are a little uneven. It's a little bit more narrow. And I just feel like, if you know what, if you continue going forward on the same journey, then it might be a little bit more rugged terrain than it has been in the past. And I'm feeling that, the options really are right and left for more of a happiness. Okay. So, but, again, it's always your choice. What would you like to do? But today, if you pick number one, it really is time to move on. It's time to move on. It's time to, navigate which way you want to go in life. Number two is the rain card. It's cleansing and refreshing. It's the rainbows, the freedoms. I truly, there's not a card in this deck I don't love, really. But this card to me, I just look at that. And who hasn't, just when there's that nice misty rain, gone out there and just thrown your arms up in the air and went, oh my God, wash over me. And that's what this is about. You are literally going into a time in your life. This is your time that you're like, you know what? You are shedding the old. You are just saying, it's time for a rebirth. It's time just to let it gently just wash off of you and look to the rainbow. Look to the positive that's coming in, because you are done with the crap you have been going through. Okay. This is your time to cleanse old thoughts, old beliefs, old behaviors, and move forward. Number three. Number three is the secret card. It's the secret card, the hidden messages, holding back emotions, unlocking the secrets and the passions within. Okay. It's a lot of simply stated, there isn't that. But these secrets are ones that are inside of you. I really do not feel like this is secrets that are about around you. It's more inside of you. And what is your passion? What about you have been hiding from everybody around you, the general public, your spouse, your kids, your friends? What about you have you not been bringing forward? Okay. What has been making you feel like you've got a shield of protection on that you're not willing to let people see? Okay. I think that's what you're looking at exploring this week. If you pick card number three, it's time for you to look inward and see, what is it about you that if you just unleash and let go, it's going to truly make you happy. What is that inner secret, that inner thing that you want to let out? It's time for you to start recognizing that. Number four, the universe card, opening up divine energy, allowing the universe to help and guide you. You pick number four. You feeling a little alone? You're not. You're not. And that this is what the card is about. The universe is there and everything in it. The angels, your guides, your loved ones, God, spirit, Jesus, your next door neighbor, whatever it is there with you. You are not by yourself. Okay. You are not by yourself in this at all. All you have to do is a little bit of prayer or a little bit of just going, help. I need some help. And trust me, they're there. They're there. Okay. No, you're not alone. Okay. It's time for you just to reach out and say, I need some help. Okay. So if you pick number one, it's the journey card. You are looking at literally taking a right or left. It's time to move on, guys. Number two is that cleansing card. It's time to, step out, allow, just whatever no longer fits you or serves you to wash away and start walking into a much positive way of life. Number three is that secrets card. And that secret is all about your inner secrets. What are you hiding from the world? Why are you hiding from the world? Allow yourself to come out, allow yourself to be. And number four is that universe card. Know that, you know what, all you have to do is open up and ask, and you have got help there. They are there with you, guides, angels, loved ones, to help you on this path. Okay. So let's get one card here. And as you know, I don't work with this deck as much as I probably should. So we're going to pick the one card off the top. DeEtte, the enlightened feminine. My gut instinct is wise beyond reason. I trust my intuition to guide me. Ah, what do you think? You can't make this up, okay? No matter how you should try. I couldn't just pick a card out of any deck and try to pair it before this started, guys. So the goddess of DeEtte, the divine feminine. Let's not even put her in the goddess. She's telling you to trust your gut instinct. Trust it. Trust your intuition. You're going to be guided on this journey. So if you're looking at, you picked this card and you went, I don't know what to do with that. I can feel it, but I don't know what to do. Trust. Just sit with it for a little bit. It's gonna come to you. It's gonna be there. Again, you're not alone. You've got all of those skills, all those abilities, and you know what? Spirit said, let's talk about that in the beginning. Remember, I came on and said, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. And Spirit said, hey, you're going to talk about this. So we did. And it was all about listening to your soul and listening to a higher source. And, Amie came on with her Soulfed book and her life coaching. And when she talked about the same thing, and here the cards are saying, hey, come on, get on board here. So Spirit gave you guys a message today. Okay. With that being said, let's look at our weekly stuff. Let me look. I got to go because you know how good I did last weekend. Of course, last week is not a good character reference for what I was going through because we all know I was going crazy. I got to go the other way because I need to find the list because I want to make sure I'm seeing this list of everybody right off the bat. So that everybody knows what the list of, shows that we have going on. And I want to let you know, it's a little secret. Here's a secret. The station's growing. It's growing. I know of a definite one, possibly two more shows starting, maybe a third. Remember, I said, let's get Todd busy. That man he's got to stay in his tidy whities. Two. He says two. We got two definites. I'm going to get a third because you know what? Todd loves to do this. And you know what? We're going to keep building and growing the station until we are in everybody's home on everybody's channel. Okay. So starting this week, as always, you have me Monday mornings at 9 a.m. I am School Through Spirit. My name is DeEtte Renee. And you know what? I am always amazed by every show that we have. Tonight, we have got Christina Bloom on. She's on at 8 p.m. tonight. She is Be the Change. You're going to love that show. She's, I believe, 1 hour. Tuesday night, 7 p.m. And these are all, I'm saying these in Central Standard Time, guys. Is New Bridge Radio, and that's with Kevin Mackey. He's on for an hour, followed by Haunted Voices with Todd Bates and Nicole Strickland. They're on at 8 p.m. They're on for 2 beautiful hours. And then we fall into 10 p.m. with Paranormal Pete, with that's Pete Urbea. Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. is Over the Target, and that's with Missy Hart and Nicole Ford. Thursdays, 8 p.m. is After Life Chronicles. That's Nicole Strickland. And Friday nights, 8 p.m. is Secrets Within, and that's with Renee Rodriguez. Okay? Fantastic shows, fantastic lineups. Like I said, we have at least two more coming in. Okay? And you know what? The station's always growing. And with that being said, do you have a voice? Do you want to talk? Are you like me and we can't shut you up? Or nobody else can anyway? You have a message, anything paranormal, guys. And you know what? Paranormal is not a classification of just haunted houses or aliens. Okay. Paranormal is anything that's not normal. Anything that's not normal. Okay. Which is pretty much anything. So, what is your voice about? Okay, come on in. Go to www.db.com. Go to the contact page. Send Todd, my producer, a message and saying, hey, you know what? I'm really interested in having a show here. What are your rates? I believe he still has a one month paid, 1 month free type thing going on. He's got a special going on, and he's pretty generous with that, which I think is amazing. Thank you. Yep. Oh, today's the last day of that special, guys. So if you want it, you gotta hit the button today. If you want to start with the special, you gotta hit the button today. Get it over to him. Doesn't mean it has to be finalized. You just gotta start the conversation going today. But literally jump on there. He's gonna help you put this all together. This is not micro type neurology type science, anything here. All you have to do is have an idea, have a voice, want to share it, and have a computer or a telephone. To be able to click yes to a StreamYard view, Todd does everything else. Todd is the wizard behind the madness of the station. He is just a gem and does it all. So please, please, please go there. Do that. Okay. Now the next thing is our advertising. You can't beat this. You cannot beat our advertising because it really isn't expensive. It's cheap. Our advertising is cheap. Okay. And the cool thing is our advertising, yes, it is going to be showed on the shows. Okay. Every show has got their advertising genre. As you notice with mine, I'm a 2-hour show, so I have two different advertisements going on. Other shows might have one or two, I don't know. But your advertisement is going to run for the length of whatever time you're paying for that. Okay. And again, it's cheap. It's not like you're getting into television and really expensive. This is really inexpensive advertising. The cool thing is, unlike TV, it shows on, boom, you get your advertising and they have to pay for that forever, okay, to keep it going. Yes, you have to pay for that if you want it actively in live shows. But because my show turns into a podcast when we're done, guess what stays in my podcast? Your advertising. Okay. So you're paying for the month, but you get an eternity of advertising, or at least as long as my podcasts are up. Okay. That's pretty cool, isn't it? I mean, that is a ton of free advertising on top of what you paid for. Okay. So again, if you have something, if you know what, if you have something you want to advertise, if and I'll tell you what, I myself have an international following. I'm sure most of the shows do have an international following. So please, please, please go in, do your advertising, contact the station, WLTKDB.com, and get what you want in there. Okay. Um, like I said, guys, I will not be here next week. I will be back the week after, February 14th, with me and Missy Hart doing live readings. I am going to start telling you about a special show I got going on. It's a special show. It's out of the ordinary because you guys know I'm every Monday morning, like clockwork. And that's not going to change. But I'm going to start talking about it now. We're going to start advertising it right now. And we're going to start blowing it up right now. My mentor, Lisa Williams, Google her if you don't know her, is coming on to do a special show with me. It is March 1st. That is a Tuesday morning, same time, 9 to 11 a.m. March 1st. Okay. Same station. It will be streamed on Facebook. It will be streamed on our YouTube, and it'll be streamed on the station's channel. But yes, you need to come in because that is a special show. And I'm going to pick Lisa Williams' brain so you can find out from a master how this works, how her life fell into this. You know what? Do what very few people get to do. Put your comments in because I'm going to be taking some of those questions and presenting them to Lisa saying, hey, this is what people want to know. Okay, this is a lifetime opportunity to be able to pick one of the greatest people's names when it comes to psychic mediumship development. And trust me, the woman's learning neuroscience now. So this is a place to go, place to be. Again, that's March 1st, 9 to 11 a.m. Okay, and that is a Tuesday morning. With that being said, guys, you have a fantastic day. Happy February because today's the last day of January. And I'll see you in 2 weeks. This is DeEtte Renee on School Through Spirit with WLTK DB.